Hello students, this is Taranum Jahan. So here I am to start up the new chapter from your geography, chapter 2. So let's start your second chapter from your geography. So the second chapter is Physical Features of India, chapter 2 for the class 9 from the book NCERT. Now let's start the physical features of India. So before starting up the physical features of India, let's see the major division of India. Geographically, how India is divided. So here India is divided into 6 major factors actually. And those are the Peninsular Plateau region, the northern mountain regions, the northern Indian plains, the coastal plains, the Indian islands and the Indian deserts. So these major divisions we are going to study in detail when we are studying about the physical features of India. So before that, we'll see how the India is, how India was formed. And then after that, we'll discuss about the each and every major divisions of India. So let's begin with the chapter. So now let's see how India is. India is a vast country with a varied land reforms. Land reforms in the sense we are having within a country, we are having mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus and island. All these physical features are there in our country. And India has a very large land reform which was geographically formed very long years ago. It has taken a very long, many years in order to form that geographical area or such a large landform. So how it was formed? What has made to form India? Let's discuss. So now let's see how India was formed. What made the formation of India? The crust, that is the upper part of the earth, has been formed out of 7 major and some minor plates. Like we are having the African plates, Antarctic plate, Eurasian plate, Indo-Australian plate, North American plate, Pacific plate and South American plate. And they move with the changes or the release of pressure and temperature inside the earth. With the movement of this plate, we do form many places. Like how India was formed, it is believed that when there was a dashing, when they have contracted and attracted which plates? The Euro-Asian plate and Indo-Australian plate. They have dashed between each other, and these plates, the Indo and the Euro plates, made the Himalayas to be formed. With the dashing of these two plates, the Euro-Asian plate and the Indo-Australian plate, when they attracted each other, when they dashed on each other, the Himalayas were formed. And it was believed that before, India, Australia, Africa, South America, Antarctica was one land. It was complete one land and it was called as Gondwana land. But the movement of this plate separated all the places. Now, where do we find Africa? Isn't it? South America, Antarctica, they are completely separated. How they are separated? Just because of the movement of these plates. So these movements of the plates have separated the complete places to the north, south, east, west. Now how the movement of these plates occurs? Let's discuss. There is always a change in the earth crust area due to certain pressure and temperature inside the earth. So how this pressure and temperature takes place inside the earth? The first one is folding. The folding occurs in the crust of the earth surface. Now how this folding occurs? When there is a movement of the plates and when they get attracted to each other or they come very closer to each other, they create a fold or a wrinkle on the earth crust. This fold creates a wrinkle in the middle or a gap in the middle. These gaps are called as foldings. An example of such kind of a gaps which has been created due to the tectonic movement which has been come closer is a young Himalayans. For example, see if you smile, when your tissues come closer, you get the wrinkles on your face, especially the laughing lines near your nose. Such kind of a fold creates a when the tissues are coming very closer to each other. In the same manner, even the earth crust comes so close when the tectonic plates are coming very closer to each other, when they are attracting towards each other, opposite attraction. So this creates a fold. So example of such folding is the young Himalayas. Then comes your faulting. Faulting is nothing but suddenly if there is a landslide due to the earthquake. It can be due to the earthquake or any reason if there is a landslide and that landslide is creating something new. Even why the landslide happens due to the movement of the tectonic plates inside the earth. So there are different types of a movement that occurs and different type of a movement creates different innovations on the crust of the earth. So even the faulting is done due to the movement of this tectonic plates on the earth. So due to the movement of the tectonic plates, even the landslide occurs, or there can be an earthquake. Earthquake event happens just because of this tectonic plates movement. So due to the earthquake or might be any other reason, if the landslide is occurring, again it creates something new. So for example, the Vindhya and the Satpura hills were having a landslide which created a rift valley beside the Narmada and Tapati river. So that is an example. The Rift Valley is an example of this faulting. Then comes the volcanic activities. How the volcano, the molten lava cooks on the whole of the earth. We are not having a fire inside the earth, isn't it? There is a natural heat which has been created by these tectonic plates. So due to the natural heat which has been created by the movement of these tectonic plates cooks the molten lava. So let's discuss that how these tectonic plates are moving, how they are creating a temperature and the pressure inside the earth crust, so that so many changes have been happening. They are creating mountains, they are creating valleys, they are cooking the volcanoes. So let's see what are these tectonic plates. So it has been believed that the upper layer of the earth, that is crust, is made up of some different small parts which we call it as tectonic plates, and these plates keeps on moving. Thus the movement sometimes causes earthquake even. So now the three types of the movement we observe in these plates are convergent, divergent and transform. Now let's see one by one what kind of a movement is this. The first one is the convergent boundary. This type of a movement form the convergent boundary. This movement forms mountains. Example Himalayas. These plates comes close towards each other. If you see the arrows, they are coming very close to each other and forming a fold. This fold creates a mountains. Then comes the divergent. This type of a movement creates a divergent boundary when the plates are moving away from each other. If you see the arrows of the divergent boundary, they are moving away from each other. So this movement is called as divergent boundary. Then see the transform. Transform boundaries, they move opposite direction. If one is going up, the other will go down. While moving the boundary that creates between them is called as transform boundary. So while they are moving in this way, the opposite in an opposite direction, up and down, this is creating a transform boundary. So if you see the arrows, you will understand that how these plates are moving. Now let's see the India's major physical division. First we have seen the geographical division. Now we are going to see the physical division. The physical divisions are the Himalayan mountains, that is the wall of the north, the northern plains, the peninsular plateaus, the Indian deserts, the coastal plains and the islands. So with that geographical area we are going to discuss with this physical division of India. So let's start. So we have discussed about the Himalayan mountain, that how they were formed. The Euro-Asian plates and the Indo-Australian plates, they had a convergent boundary. They have attracted towards each other. They came closer to each other, and that is the reason why the Himalayan mountains were formed. So that was a history of that how the Himalayan mountains were formed in India. Now what is Himalaya? From where we got this word Himalaya? Him means snow and alai means house. So together if we form, it is called as the snow house. That is the reason why it has been given a name called Himalaya. So Himalayas are the highest peak or the highest range of the earth, and it is often referred as a roof of the world. Many great rivers, big rivers, flows from here like Indus, Jhelum, Yamuna, Ganga, Godavari. All the rivers, these all big rivers have been originated from these Himalayan mountains. And moreover, the length of the Himalayan mountain, if we calculate the length of the Himalayan mountain from the Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, it is around 2400 kilometers. And the Himalayas runs along the northern border of India, especially on the northern border of the India. And the Great Himalayas are also known as the Young Fold Mountains, and these are three parallel ranges even in the longitudinal extent, that is the Great Inner Himalayas, which is also called as the Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal, and the Shivaliks. Now let's discuss the three parallel ranges of these Himalayas. So I'll also show on the map where do we find this Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks. Now again the Himalayas are divided into three, that is the Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Great Himalayas is nothing but the Inner Himalayas or Himadri. Lesser Himalayas are nothing but the Himachals, and the last one is Shivalik. Now let's see the Great or the Inner Himalayas or Himadri. The Himadris are also called as the Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas. They are the northernmost part. They are in the northernmost part. If you see the light blue color, that is the Himadri region. The average height of these mountains are around 6,000 meters. For example, we are having over here in Himadris, we are having Mount K2, Mount Kanchenjunga and Mount Everest. These are the mountains which are covered with snow for a whole year. Whole year we find snow over here. And these are made of granite stones specially. And because of the lofty height, the peak of these ranges are perennially covered with snow. Now the next one is the Lesser Himalayas or Himachals. And if you see, after the light blue line, there's one more border which is made of a bit blue color but a bit darker one, are called as Lesser Himalayas or Himachals. These lie to the south of Himadri. They are coming south of Himadri, that is nothing but they are coming down towards the Himadri. So it is on the south of the Himadri or below Himadri, you can see. The average height of this Himalayans are, the Himachals are 3,700 to 4,500 meters. And we find many valleys here like Kashmir valleys. Basically you will find many hill stations over here. And the most important mountain range here is Pir Panjal mountain range, and it is the longest range which we find in Himachals. Now the next division of Himalayas is Shivaliks, and it is towards the south of Himachal or below Himachal. It is the outermost range of the Himalaya, and the average height of this Shivaliks is 900 to 1100 meters. And it is made of alluvial soil. Here we find alluvial soil over here. And the longest or the longitudinal valley lying between the Himachal and Shivaliks, the longitudinal valley between the Himachal and Shivaliks are called as dhuns. So here we find all dhuns or the valleys like Kotli Dhun, Patli Dhun, Dehradun, all these dhuns are being found in Shivaliks. So now see the division of Himalayas from west to east. Earlier we have seen the division of Himalayas from north to south. Now we are seeing from west to east. So Himalayas have been divided on the basis of the region from west to east. The divisions are the Punjab Himalayas, Kumaon Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas, Assam Himalayas. So all the Himalayas, these have been divided as from west to east in this way. So let's see one by one. The Punjab Himalayas. Now where does this Punjab Himalayas are? These Punjab Himalayas lies between the Indus and the Satluj rivers, and they are also known as the Kashmir Himalayas and Himachal Himalayas. They are lying between these places. So they are also called as the Kashmir Himalayas and the Himachal Himalayas. Then comes your Kumaon. If you see, just see the lines. I have divided it. Just see the lines, Kumaon Himalayas. Now this next is Kumaon Himalayas. This part lies between the Satluj and the Kali river. Then comes your Nepal Himalayas. The place till where the Nepal is, the complete border we are taking, those are the Nepal Himalayas. This part lies between the Kali and Teesta river, the river which are flowing in middle of these borders, the Kali and the Teesta river. Then the Assam Himalayas, if you see the Assam Himalayas line, this part lies between the Teesta and Dihang rivers. The moment the Teesta ends, from there the Assam Himalaya starts. So from Teesta to Dihang. So in this way the Punjab Himalayans, the Himalayan regions from west to east has been divided. Now from the Assam Himalayas, again it comes to the eastern hills and mountains. That is, from the Assam it comes down, called as Purvanchal mountains. So here these Himalayas, they come up to the Purvanchal. Himalayas, they bend sharply towards the Purvanchal. These hills runs through the northeastern state of India. Whatever the northern eastern states are there after the Assam, now these Himalayas are running towards there. And here you find the sedimentary rocks. These hills are covered with complete dense forest, and these hills are composed of the Patkai hills, Naga hills, Manipuri hills or Mizo hills. That side, the end of the next hand of the Indian map, if you see, if you are able to see this map, here the Bangladesh west side, here you are going to find this eastern hills and mountains. From the Assam Himalayas, now it is coming down towards the Purvanchal, and these are the places where you find the Purvanchal in India, the eastern sides of India. Now the next is the northern plains. We have discussed about the Himalayas, the northern Himalayas. Now the second one is the northern plains of India. Now if you see the green part over here, the green part of Indian map, these are the plains, the northern plains of India. So let's discuss the northern plains of India. The northern plains, large area, flat land with few trees, is called as plains. These are formed by three main rivers. They are Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra. Here it is made up of alluvial soil. The northern plain is consist of alluvial soil. Though we are having alluvial soil over here, then the positive point over here is we are going to definitely find the very good agriculture over here, because we are having a very soft alluvial soil over here. Then how long is the northern plains? Northern plains are around 2,400 kilometer long. And how broad they are? They are around 240 to 320 kilometer broad. The rivers in their lower course, whatever the rivers those was flowing from here, splits into numerous channels or a stream. These channels and streams are known as distributaries. Again, the northern plain is divided into three sections. That is, from west to east. West to east, I am dividing the northern plains again to the Punjab plain, Ganga plain, and Brahmaputra plain. Now you see the map, how the northern plains from east to west has been divided. Just see the Punjab plain, Ganga plain, and Brahmaputra plain. Now the first is the Punjab plain. The Punjab plains forms the western part of the northern plains. It is on the west side where the Punjab is. Then these are formed by the rivers or the tributaries like Indus and its tributaries. The river which is flowing is Indus, and the tributaries, the different streams and channels which are flowing out of it, forms this Punjab plain. And the different tributaries in the streams which have been formed by the Indus river is Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. This Punjab plain is formed with the meeting of the two rivers. That is the reason why it is called as Doab. Doab is nothing but two rivers meeting at one place. So this is nothing about the Punjab plain. Now comes the Ganga plain. This was created due to the Ganga river. It covers the states like Delhi, Haryana, UP, Bihar, and Jharkhand. And the next is Brahmaputra plain. This is in the west side of India. This is created due to the Brahmaputra river. It covers north, east, and West Bengal. Northern plains from north to south. So based on the relief feature, again the northern plains are divided into four regions, that is Bhabar, Tirai, Bhangar, and Khadar. Now if you see the map here, the diagram, when the Himalayans are there, then Himadris are there, then Shivaliks are there. The moment the Shivalik ends, the Bhabar, Tirai, Bhangar, and Khadar is being started. The region starts. So here how the Bhabar has been started, how the Bhabar region is here, what kind of a Tirai regions do we find over here, what is Bhangar and what is Khadar, we are going to discuss over here. So let's see, the first one is Bhabar. Now in the north we have one region called Bhabar. This is around 8 to 16 kilometers broad region and it lies parallel to Shivaliks. Here we find pebbles and the water level is deep in this region. Now the next is Tirai. After Bhabar there is Tirai region. The Tirai region lies towards the south of Bhabar belt. Very just below the Bhabar belt we find the Tirai region. In this region the streams reappears and makes wet, swampy and marshy region. It's nothing but a very muddy area, wet muddy area. This region was full of forest and wildlife. But after the partition, all this area was converted into an agricultural land so that the migrants can settle down there. The next is Bhangar. Bhangar is the largest part of the northern plain and it is composed of the oldest alluvial soil. It lies above the floodplains. Small stones are found here. And this is one of the broad belt of northern plain. The soil of this region is locally known as Kankar and is composed of calcareous deposits. Khadar. In south, we find Khadar, very fertile soil without any conquer, good for agriculture, and it is just below Bhangar. So the four belts of the northern plain is Babar, Tirai, Bhangar and Khadar. So the next is Peninsular Plateau. What is Peninsular? The area of the land which is almost covered with the water around. Now the Peninsular Plateau. This was created when the India was separated from Gondwana land. When you see the southern side of India, you will find Peninsular Plateau. In India, we find only two plateaus, that is the Deccan Plateau and the Central Highland Plateau. And one of the important feature of Peninsular Plateau is a black soil area, which is known as the Deccan Trap. This black soil originated from the volcanic eruption. Thus, it has an igneous rocks too. The Peninsular Plateau is again divided into two, that is the Deccan Plateau in the south and the Central Island or the Central Highlands that are under the center of India in the north. Between these both the plateaus we have Narmada River. Just have a close look at the map and see where the Central Highlands are, where is the Deccan Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now just have a close look towards the map and see where the Central Highlands are and where the Deccan Plateau is. With this political map, you will understand the Central Highlands covering how many states and the Deccan Plateaus. Just see the light shaded area. These are the Deccan Plateaus. Now see the Central Highlands. The Central Highland lies to the north of the Narmada River. As I have already told you that both the Deccan Plateaus and the Central Highlands, in the middle we have the division of it, the middle of both the plateaus we are having a Narmada River. And the Central Highland lies to the north of the Narmada River. It covers a major portion of the Malwa Plateau. Now see where the Malwa Plateau is. It covers a major portion of Malwa Plateau. And it covers Bundelkhand, Baghelkhand and Chota Nagpur Plateau. The river in this region flows from the southwest to the northeast. The rivers over here flows from the south side to the northeast like Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken, Sun, etc., which indicates the slope of this region. Now you see the rivers are flowing from southwest to the northeast. So it is wider in the west and narrower in the east. Bundelkhand and Baghelkhand mark the eastward extension of this plateau. The plateau further extends eastwards into the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now just have a close look towards the map and see where the Deccan Plateaus are. The Deccan Plateaus is a large plateau that covers most of the South India. It is triangular in shape. The slope of the Deccan Plateau is from west to east. So most of the rivers flows from west to east. On the west of the plateaus are the Western Ghats, and on the east of the plateaus we have Eastern Ghats. This northern boundary of the triangle is made up by the Satpura range and the Vindhya range. This northern range separates the plateaus from the heavily populated riverine plains of North India. Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats are on the west of Deccan Plateaus and the Eastern Ghats are on the east of Deccan Plateaus. Western Ghats are higher, around 900 to 1600 meters. They are continuous and they are parallel to west coast. Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are lower than compared to the Western Ghats. They are just around 600 meters and they are discontinuous. They are discontinuous in the sense many rivers are flowing in middle of the Eastern Ghats. So they are not continuously made. In middle they are discontinuous. Now the deserts. The Indian desert. Just have a look at the map and say where do you find the deserts in India. It lies in the western India, Rajasthan. It receives very low rainfall of around only 150 mm per year. It has a very arid climate, that means the dry climate, and because of which we have very low vegetation in this area. It has only one main river called as Luni River. Now these are the coastal plains of India. Now see the coastal plains near the western sides and the eastern sides. Near the western side, the coastal plains are divided into Konkan coast, Kannada coast and Malabar coast. And near the eastern side, you see the coastal plains are divided into two, the northern Sirkar and Coromandel coast. And this is near the Arabian Sea, near the west, and in the east, near the Bay of Bengal. So now let's see how it is. So these are the coastal plains, the western coastal plains and the eastern coastal plains. The western coastal plain is towards near the Arabian Sea and the eastern coastal plain is near the Bay of Bengal. The western coastal plain is divided into three, that is the Konkan, Kannad and Malabar coast. The Konkan coast covers the area from Mumbai to Goa. Kannad coast is covering the area of Karnataka. Malabar coast is covering the area from South Karnataka to Kerala. Then comes your eastern coast. Eastern coast is towards the Bay of Bengal, and again the eastern coast is divided into two, that is the northern Sirkar and Coromandel coast. Northern Sirkar is covering the area from Orissa to Andhra Pradesh, and Coromandel coast is covering the area from Andhra Pradesh to Tamil Nadu. Now the islands of India. India is having two beautiful islands, the Lakshadweep Island and Andaman and Nicobar Island. Now let's read about these two islands. So India has two group of islands, that is the Lakshadweep in the Arabian Sea and the Andaman and Nicobar Island in the Bay of Bengal. Now let's see about the Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is the island which covers the area of around 32 square kilometer, and the capital of Lakshadweep is Karavati Island. Flora fauna in this area is of great diversity. It has the complete green forest, the green areas. The flora and fauna is of great over here. Now let's see the Andaman Nicobar. Andaman and Nicobar Island is located in the Bay of Bengal. These islands are bigger in size and has more number of islands in this. The group of islands can be divided into two groups, the Andaman and in the north and Nicobar in the south. These islands are located close to the equator. Thus, the climate is also having a thick forest covers over here. These islands too have a rich flora and fauna. The capital of Andaman and Nicobar is Port Blair. So with this we have finished the physical features of India, and I hope you people have understood the physical features of India. I'll also give you the maps. Even for the French Revolution, I have given you certain maps. Those maps will be completed only when you people are having your books with you all people, and only mark the questions which I have given to you rather than just copying what is given in your map boosters. So we'll do the maps in such a way that only the given questions will be marked in your map boosters rather than just copying the pages from the map boosters to the written maps, what you people used to do in your 8th standard. So this time only the maps which have been given as a questions will be marked in your map boosters. So keep aside the questions, don't worry about the maps. Whenever you get the map boosters, do it in that. And I said that we have to prepare one practical book where you are going to paste the maps. Whatever the questions I'm giving you, just paste the map over there in the practical notebook, or else you can do it in your map boosters. Rather than, if you don't want to make any practical notebook aside, you can do those maps in your map boosters and mark only those things which have been given to you as questions rather than copying from the map boosters as it is. Again and again I'm saying, only mark the things which have been given to you as questions rather than copying from the map boosters as it is. So girls, these are some of the important questions from the chapter. Do try to answer it with the help of this PPT and write it down in your registers.